So how are we going to continue on the last Milorganite test, which you guys loved, so here comes a part 2. And what we're going to do today is test a question that one of the subscribers actually raised for me. And what we're going to do here is test to see basically if Milorganite will basically stay in the ground and only activate when it's needed. So meaning the fact that how long will it stay underground and into the soil? Will it be a week, a month, 6 months? Will it hold the whole season? Let's find out together. Welcome back, everybody. This is Mike with Jealous Lawn Care, and as you can tell, I am losing my voice, and I also have a sprained ankle for you guys. But that's not going to stop me from doing another Milorganite test. As you can see, I got my Milo here, and we're going to do 3 different tests. And this is mainly going to be about a continuation of my last test. So if you didn't see that, check the link below about my last Milorganite Fertilizer test. Okay, everybody, how are we going to one-up or do a part 2 test of the last Milorganite test? Okay, so right here, test number 1, this strip, what it's going to be is going to be 1 pass of Milorganite every single week. Okay? Test number 2, what we're going to do, we're going to do 2 passes every 2 weeks. Test number 3 down here, this is going to be 4 passes of Milorganite, so 4 applications every 4 weeks. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to see how long the results last. So as we talked about in the past, not everybody is going to be doing Milorganite every week, either for time concern or maybe for a financial concern. And both are valid points. But what we're going to do here is, again, I like to do the extreme cases for you guys. And this is going to be also beneficial for the people that are in maybe Florida or something that have a lot of fertilizer restrictions. So definitely do not quote me on any of your fertilizer restrictions, but from my limited knowledge of your fertilizer restrictions, you guys are not allowed to use fertilizer down in the South or Florida especially during the summer months because of the fact of the hurricane season and heavy rains sweeps it all away and it goes into the waters where it shouldn't be. So this may or may not be a solution to that. So if you are able to get the same results as doing it, let's say once a month or even once a week, and you're only doing it once, meaning you're loading down 4 applications, you're doing your whole lawn, let's say 4 different times before that fertilizer restriction is in effect. Is this an option for you? Let's test this out together. And I'm just going to use the recommended spreader rate. I'm not going to change the settings on this for any of the passes for any of the times, all right? So again, I've got each of these stakes spread out evenly for the spreader width. And here we go. I have my edge guard on. We're ready for the first round. So there we have it. We've done 1 pass on all of them, and it's equal so far. Now what we're going to do is do the middle one with the second one, because we're going to do 2 passes every 2 weeks. So we have our first section all done, which is every week we've done 1 pass. Second section, I'm doing once every 2 weeks, but we're doing 2 passes. Then the third pass, what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 passes every 4 weeks. So I've done 1 pass as you saw. Now we're going to do 3 more. So once again, if you guys are still watching, thank you for listening to my screechy voice right now. It's pretty bad, I know. Just getting over being sick, and also just sprained my ankle 1 week ago playing volleyball. So appreciate you guys sticking through me. You know, you guys keep watching my videos and subscribing. I will put out the videos no matter what. If I'm doing it sick and with a sprained ankle, with the power walk, that's as fast as I can walk with a sprained ankle. So hopefully you guys are liking it. All right, stay tuned for the week 1 update. Oh, and one last thing, you may see some different colored patches in here. That's because I did not use any fertilizer for this entire season yet. You guys know I love using my backyard for testing. It's all for you guys, all right? Stay tuned. All right, here's the week 1 update of the Milorganite Part 2 test. And as you can see right now, it's 1 week later, and there's really no color difference between the 3 different tests. And as you can see here, between these 3 tests, there's really no noticeable difference between the color yet. And that shouldn't be too surprising, just because of the fact that a week ago, they all received an application, let's say. Just a matter of how much. So last week was week 0. Now on week 1, I'm doing this first pass again. And we have our edge guard on. As you just saw, I did my 1 pass over here on test number 1, which is the every week. And just to get the record straight, we're not gonna have a week 0. Last week, so the first time we're doing this, which was last week, we're calling week 1. So this time is actually week 2, just to keep the week straight. So in here I'm gonna do this week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. That's gonna be 4 applications and more. Then in the middle test, we're gonna do, so I did 2 passes on week 1, and I'm gonna do 2 more passes next week, which is gonna be week 3, we'll say. And the third test behind me, we've already done it. We're all done. We're not going to do any more because we did 4 applications of it on week 1. So let's find out how long this sucker's going to last. All right, here is the week 2 or week 3 update, depends on how you want to look at it. But basically, this is the day that I'm going to be doing 2 passes down the middle and 1 down our every week strip right behind me here. All right, and like I said before, first pass is already done. We're not doing any more. We have 4 tests already done there, or 4 passes I should say. And yes, it's very, very windy today, and the sun is not the greatest, but you know, we're not going to see too much results yet. Although if I had to say, in my opinion, this strip over here, strip number 1, is actually the darkest so far. And sure, you don't want to take my word for it, do you? So let's do a quick walkthrough. So of the 3, even though I know it's very windy, it's blowing this camera all over the place, but you can see that this is definitely the darkest, most uniform of all the 3 strips. Let me walk in a straight line here so you can see all 3. There's not too much difference yet, because of the fact that it's a slow release formula, so shouldn't expect too much just yet, right? Let's get to some spreading. Edge guard on. There's my 2 passes for the middle strip. Now 1 pass on my weekly strip here. Alright, that's it for this week. Stay tuned for the next week. Welcome to the Milorganite Week 3 or Week 4 test, depends on how you want to look at it. But last week we did our 2 passes in the middle and our 1 on the side. It's a week later, we're going to do 1 more on the side. Edge guard on. So here's our 3 tests, 1, 2, and 3. Every week, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks. Total of 4 applications we're going to do. And as of right now, this is definitely the greenest overall. So we'll see if that continues with the next update. Here is an update. It's about week 5.5 right now. So last week we finished our last strip, and here we are with the update to see which is looking the best so far. Now I'm going to show you several different angles, and you can tell me what you guys think. So here's the weekly strip. So depending on where the sunlight is, you can already tell as I'm circling around it. See, this strip is definitely the greenest. Again, on the side I'm not using any Milorganite or any other fertilizer. See how this just getting greener and greener. So that weekly strip you can see there is definitely darker than all the other strips, and of course than the non-fertilized section there. So there's not really any question about the darkness. That's definitely the darkest strip, is the every week. So it seems like this 4th strip, which was done 5.5 weeks ago, and I did 4 passes all at once. So you can tell that this is greener than the non-fertilized section. So this is still lasting, what is it, 5.5 weeks later. So that is pretty good. And depending on the sunlight, I'm trying to get a whole bunch of different angles at you guys, so you can still tell our cutoff there, greener there, less green there. Strip 2 and strip 1. Now, I'm not sure how much of a surprise it is, but the weekly strip is still much better than the rest. That confirms the last video that I did on Milorganite, that weekly is definitely the best route, if it's available. Of course, not everybody can do weekly for many different reasons, for time, costs, or maybe because of fertilizer restrictions in your area. So stay tuned for the next update. I'll check back a few weeks later. Here's a quick little update of the Milorganite test, part 2. So you can totally tell. I'm looking at the reverse angle here. Here's our tests, and you can totally tell where the Milorganite starts, even in the very first week when I did this. This is, a couple months ago, and the place where I did 4 passes on the very first time, it's still green. It's still so much greener than the rest of the grass where nothing is done. So this hasn't been cut, and you can tell, boom, there's the end of the Milorganite right there, and there's my stick. There's the end. This is the weekly strip again, so I'm looking at a backwards image of the grass, just so you guys can see from different points of view, different angles. There's no question about this Milorganite, how well it's working. So this is a great sign for you Florida guys who have the fertilizer restrictions. All right, here is the last update of the Milorganite Part 2 test, and I'm finally ready to take up these stakes. Mowing around them for 2 months has been a pain, but we finally have our results. I figured we can go on and on with this, but 2 months should be easily long enough for the test. Right about here you can see this dark green line. That's the difference between Milorganite and no Milorganite. That's the end of our test. And that's 2 months old fertilizer. And sure, since you're asking for it, let me do a quick walk around. Not the greatest time of the day just because of the shade, but you can tell from all these different angles how green this still is. So you can tell the grass is longer in all 3 sections versus the unfertilized portion. Longer, shorter, longer, shorter. We could do this all day. But clearly this all still has the fertilizer, the Milorganite, still in there, even from the month-old and the 2-month-old test. Here we are. Longer grass, shorter grass. There's no question whether this stuff works, and there's also no question that it is a slow release formula. Clearly you can see the difference in the greenness, and I'll just do a full 360-degree walkthrough so you can actually tell. You can tell this big patch of green right there, this strip. Obviously doing it every week, we've already found out it's the best if you can do it weekly. But again, like you're in Florida, you have a lot of restrictions during the summertime. Right now it is summertime, so that is why we're ending this now, because it's already a couple months in. You guys don't like long videos, right? All you want to see is the results, and the results are speaking for themselves. Look at that dark green line difference right there. You can see it there on this side, and right behind me. I don't know why I'm doing it behind my head, but it just seems more natural for some reason. Getting it on camera. There is our test. And different angles, of course, provide different results. That's why I wanted to do a full 360-degree view for you guys. And now that we've proven this, I hope you guys are using this Milorganite. I know you guys are using Milorganite now more than ever, and so am I. We're all learning a lot from these test videos. And like I said before in my videos, if you want to put it down in the summertime, once a month just like I do, that's great. Again, you don't have to fertilize in the summertime. A lot of the grass goes dormant, so you can just let it go dormant like all the other neighbors, or you could not let it go dormant, fertilize like normal, and really get that jealousy between you and your neighbors. But we all definitely agree, whether or not you're using Milorganite fertilizer or a different fertilizer in the summertime, we all want to put Milorganite down or some kind of fertilizer in the fall. And I use either Milorganite or I use Ringer, help the root growth a little bit better, especially with the aeration and the overseeding, which we all hopefully are doing by now. You guys have seen my videos on that. Provides great results. Get your grass as thick as possible so that eventually you can go without weed killer or weed pre-emergence. So, like I said before, here are the results. I am always up for doing new videos, new tests, anything you guys want to see that's not out there, let me know. And once again, this is Mike with Jealous Lawn Care, and I want to thank you for watching, even if this is unstriped lawn and it's also uncut. That's what I'm impressed with doing right now. But I had to give you this quick update just because of this dark green difference, and also because I'm getting lazy. I'm tired of mowing around these stakes for a couple months. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video and subscribe for more. And if you guys don't want to do this by purely how green the grass is and the difference in these lines, you can tell. Let's just do it purely by how tall the grass is growing and how fast. You could tell right there, difference just in height. Look at how this is already basically matting down, how tall that is. Basically, this doesn't even really need much of a cut. Versus this, look at the difference in these. This is the weekly strip. So again, all test strips got 4 equal treatments of Milorganite. There you go, you can see definite difference in grass height. And it's pretty consistent all the way throughout. And right about there, that's the end of our stakes. And I actually just took the stakes up because
I forgot I wanted to show this also, but you can totally tell, even with this tree basically is where I stopped the last test, and see how much longer this is. And this is 2 months old Milorganite. This stuff lasts a long time, so you guys in Florida and down south, you guys can definitely apply this on a infrequent basis. You don't have to do weekly, you don't even have to do monthly. This is lasting quite long. So over here again on the right side, no Milorganite, no fertilizer, just Milorganite 2 months ago. And I do want to mention real quick that the reason I did this Milorganite part 2 video was specifically because one of my subscribers asked to see this specific video, and I figured it's a good test. People are interested. A lot of people down south who have fertilizer restrictions. This is a great test to see if they can use Milorganite earlier in the year and just really heavy-handed. Last update. I know I said that it would be the last update last time, but I had to do one more just in case you guys couldn't see this dark green difference. I already took the stakes out, but you can clearly see our test sections here. And you can see this first section here. This was the putting down 4 different applications at the same time. And obviously you can see that the weekly one is still better, but hey, this is definitely working very well. And I'll do a real quick 360-degree view so you can see different angles. I mean, all angles, this is looking really great, really dark green. You could ignore this section because that's just tree shade. But all this strip, that's the Milorganite right there. The Milorganite difference. It is a very hot, in the middle of cutting the grass. And had to give you one last update. Greener from every single angle. Can't wait to put down Milorganite for the rest of the lawn. Have not done it in a while. It's definitely lacking some. Alright, so there you have it. This is definitely the last update for the Milorganite Part 2 test.